What's up guys, welcome back to Fibs Reacts. In today's video we will be making a tier list for fast food restaurants. Let's go. Alright, so I have my tier list set up here and I have it ranked from goated, which is like the best of the best, my favorite. Then we have our B column. Next we have mid. Right below that we have our D column. And then at the very bottom, we have S. Am I recording? Hang on. Okay, I just had to check that I was actually recording because I didn't want to get through this whole video and the camera not have been on. All right, so first up on the list, we have Arby's.
I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's.
Now, I know that Arby's gets a bad rap. I know that a lot of people don't really care for Arby's. I think mostly just because it's like the worst when it comes to, I guess, how greasy and like unhealthy the food is. I would say Arby's probably ranks the worst for most people. I used to eat Arby's pretty frequently as a kid, and I enjoyed it. However, as I got older, I kind of slowly backed away from Arby's. I didn't go to it as often as I used to. Nowadays, I'll go to Arby's like every now and then, but it's definitely not my favorite. So I think I'm gonna put Arby's in the, I'm gonna say the D category. Gave it the D.
What did he say?
All right, next up on the list we have Bojangles. Now, Bojangles is a classic, great chicken place in my opinion. If I'm looking for a restaurant where I can get, you know, some good fried chicken, also with some great side options, Bojangles is, probably going to be the first place I would go to. Obviously, they're known for their biscuits. They do have really good biscuits, although it does kind of depend. It's kind of Russian roulette when it comes to biscuits at Bojangles. They can either be really good or they can be old or overcooked or undercooked. Sometimes you get doughy biscuits. It really just depends. I would say the same thing about their sweet tea. Growing up in the South, I grew up drinking sweet tea. So usually when I go to Bojangles, I will get sweet tea. Sometimes it's really good. It's really sweet, just like mom used to make it. But other times it's watery. It's just disgusting. But overall, I don't really mind Bojangles that much. We'll put it in the B category. I'll give it a generous B. All right, next up on the list we have the king of burgers. I used to eat there a lot when I was a kid, mostly because I remember they had pretty good toys like in the kids meals. I do like the charbroiled. It's so hard to say, charbroiled burgers that they have. No, I'll go get a Whopper every now and then. And you know what? I just gotta say, the new Burger King commercials that they've had going for maybe the past year or so, with the horrible, god-awful theme songs. Whopper, 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 what? Trash. I'm putting it in the ass category. I don't care. It's bad enough for those current commercials they have going. So that kind of just takes the cake on the whole restaurant altogether. All right, next up we have Carl's Jr. Now, Carl's Jr. or Hardee's, I've honestly only been to Carl's Jr. / Hardee's like once in my life. I really like never go to Hardee's. But from the one time I went, it was just, I don't know. It was just kind of meh, like not really crazy about it. I wouldn't say it's like, just god awful, but yeah, I think I'll put it in the D category. Okay, so next up we have Chick-fil-A. I think everyone loves Chick-fil-A. You always have great service, kind service. They tend to get you through the drive-through very quickly. The food is usually always hot and fresh and good. I love the waffle fries at Chick-fil-A. I love the grilled chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A. Yeah, Chick-fil-A, they usually just knock it out of the park every single time. So you know what? I'm gonna go with the goated category for Chick-fil-A. They usually They usually do a pretty good job every single time. And next up on our list, we have Chipotle. Yeah, I mean, Chipotle, it's all right. I mean, it's kind of overrated in my opinion. I will say though, the last couple times I went to Chipotle, they got my order wrong. One time I got like just I think it was like completely the wrong order, but it had my name on it, but like everything was wrong about the order. And then the last time I went, I was gonna try their new ranch that they have. And I paid like extra for it. I paid like 75 cents extra for it, and they didn't even put it in the freaking bag. So, you know, altogether, Chipotle just kind of, it's just kind of mid. Next up on the list, we have Cookout. You know, it's funny because I actually just had Cookout last night. Cookout is one of those places that's like, it's really only good at certain times, which is typically like really late at night. Cookout was like the main hangout spot in my hometown for like all the high school kids. I do remember that. Having said that, I always get what I call a Cookout hangover, which every time I'll eat Cookout the next morning, I just feel god awful. It's just like that late night greasy food fix that you need sometimes. But I'm not gonna lie, last night after I had Cookout, I woke up in the middle of the night and felt awful, and I'm not even gonna cap, like I was up all night just sick as a dog. I don't know if I got food poisoning. I don't think it was food poisoning. I think I just had Cookout. So I can't blame Cookout for, you know, how it affects my body personally, because the food is still fine. It's still good. So I think I'll go with the mid category for Cookout. All right, next up we have Domino's Pizza. We got a few pizza places in our tier maker here. You know, Domino's is actually like probably one of my more favorite pizza places. It's also pretty affordable for the most part as well. Like if I'm gonna order pizza for myself, chances are it's gonna come from Domino's. Domino's is just kind of nostalgic for me because anytime we would have pizza parties, like back in middle school, it was usually always Domino's. So I guess it's just kind of nostalgic in that sense. And I do like their pizza. I do think their food is, you know, pretty good for the most part. So you know what? I think I'll be generous. I'll put it in the goated category. Domino's is pretty goated for the most part. All right, so it looks like we have Dairy Queen next up on the list. I don't know if Dairy Queen is it only an East Coast thing, or do they have Dairy Queen on the West Coast? Anyway, Dairy Queen is really, I would really only go there for ice cream. I know they have like actual food there, but I would really only go for ice cream. The blizzards mostly. One time they had like a brownie batter blizzard, which was really good. You know what? I think I'll put it in the B category. All right, next up we have Five Guys. You know what? Five Guys is goated. I think everyone can agree Five Guys is goated, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that in there. Next up we have IHOP. You know, IHOP is a place that I've only been to like, I don't know, maybe once or twice in my life. So I'm not too familiar with it. From what I remember, I mean, the pancakes were pretty good, and I do like pancakes. So, you know, not too much to say about IHOP. I'm pretty indifferent, so I'll put it in the D category. All right, moving right along here, we have In-N-Out Burger. You know what? Overrated. It's overrated, bro. I mean, I know that a lot of people just go crazy for some In-N-Out, but I had it one time when I was over there on the West Coast, and it just didn't really live up to the hype. I mean, it was just kind of okay, you know? I mean, I wouldn't say it was like god awful, but it just wasn't very good. I think I'm gonna put that in the D category. Next on the list is Jersey Mike's. You know, I love a good sub every now and then. Jersey Mike's is probably my go-to, I would say at this point, even though I don't really go to sandwich places that often. But if I do, it's most likely going to be Jersey Mike's. You know, I'm going to put that in the B category because it's usually always pretty good for the most part. Next up, we have KFC. You know, kind of a similar place to something like a Bojangles or something like that. You know, you have your chicken and your sides, and biscuits and whatnot. It's very similar. Now, given the choice between the two, I would probably go with Bojangles as opposed to KFC. I have had a few bad experiences at KFC, but altogether it's not terrible. So I think I'll put it in the mid category. It's not fantastic, but it's not terrible either. Next up we have Little Caesars Pizza bitch. Again, not really a place I go very often, especially, you know, obviously when I'm gonna get pizza. I wouldn't say it's like terrible, but I think the pizzas are always like really saucy. Like they just have way too much sauce. But you know, Little Caesars, I don't know. I think I'll put that in the D category. Next up we have the GOAT himself, McDonald's. Man, I go to McDonald's so much. I love McDonald's. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that in the go-to category. I have the mobile app. I get the rewards. Hell yeah. McDonald's is just, man, they've gotten so good at getting you through the drive-thru, man. The drive-thru service at McDonald's is like insane. I mean, it's crazy how fast they keep that thing going. But yeah, always great service at McDonald's for me personally. Usually the food is always, you know, good. Rarely is it ever like just cold or terrible, in my opinion. So yeah, McDonald's is definitely going in the go-to category. Okay, next up we have Moe's Southwest Grill. You know, honestly, I will go with Moe's as opposed to Chipotle. You know, Chipotle, it's all right, but for some reason I just think Moe's is better. I don't know, but I think I'll give Moe's I think I'll put it in the B category. Moe's is up there. It's pretty good. Next up, we have another goated restaurant, in my opinion. I only started going to this restaurant like fairly recently, and that's Panda Express. I just had no idea. I was just straight up uncultured on Panda Express, but I'm so glad that I took that leap and tried Panda Express, because it's like now one of my favorite places. Panda Express is going in the go-to category for sure. All right, we are almost to the end here. We have Panera Bread up next. Panera is not really a place that I go to very often. Honestly, it's just kind of overpriced in my opinion. It's expensive for like the food you actually get. I understand it's supposed to be like more leaning towards a healthier option, you know, your soups and your salads and your sandwiches, but I don't know, for the most part Panera Bread is just like not really worth it to me. Not to say it's bad, it's just not really my thing, so I'm gonna put that in the D category. Next up we have Papa John's. I know a lot of people give Papa John's a bad rap, but it's really not that bad. But I can't quite put it in the go-to category, so I think I'll give it a B. Papa John's isn't that bad. And keeping in the same theme of pizza places, we have Pizza Hut. Used to go to Pizza Hut a lot as a kid. We actually used to go like in the restaurant and like sit down and eat, which I don't think anyone does anymore. But yeah, like used to do that a lot as a kid, so it's, I guess, kind of nostalgic for me in that sense. Pizza Hut is, you know, it's good, man. Like I really don't eat it as much as I should. I really should go to Pizza Hut more. I'll put that right beside old Papa John. I'll put that in the B category. Next up we have Quiznos Sub. Again, another place I used to go to a lot when I was younger. But does Quiznos exist anymore? I feel like it went out of business or something. Maybe they brought it back. I don't know. But from what I remember, it was pretty good. I don't think it's good enough for a B. I think I'll put that in the mid category. It's all right. All right, we have Sonic up next. Sonic is kind of like Dairy Queen. It's really only a place I'm going to if I'm gonna get like ice cream. I would really only go if it was like a hot summer day and I wanted to, you know, sit in my car and have some ice cream, then I would go to Sonic. I'm gonna put Sonic in the D category. It's just, I don't know. I'm not really crazy about it. It's all right, but I'm not crazy about it. Next up on the list we have Steak and Shake. You know, Steak and Shake is a place that I've only been to like maybe once or twice in my whole life. It's another place that I probably should go to a bit more often. But from what I remember, it's just kind of run-of-the-mill kind of burger, ice cream type place. Kind of like In-N-Out, I would say. Kind of like I won't compare it to Five Guys. That's kind of blasphemy. But yeah, I mean, Steak and Shake is all right. I'm going to put that in the D category too. Next up on the list, we have Subway. Now, let me talk to you about Subway. Subway used to be like my go-to sandwich place. But in the past, like, I would say like 5 years or so, it just sucks now. It just sucks. Like you can do the drive-through thing where you can like use the touch screen to put in your sandwich order, which is great, you know. Usually they're not very friendly for the most part. And also the food is just like, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of gotten worse. Or maybe it's always been bad. I don't know. I will say this, like there's this Walmart in my hometown, and it had a Subway in it. And every time you would walk into Walmart, you would smell like the fresh bread baking, and it just smelled so good. But yeah, I mean, I used to get the meatball sub. I mean, that used to be my thing. But I don't know, man. Like in recent history, I've not had a lot of great experiences at Subway. And I think a lot of other people are kind of hopping on that bandwagon too. And they don't even have the $5 footlong anymore, which is like, I am tempted to put it in the ass category. I think I am. Sorry, Subway. You fell off, bro. Next up on the list, we have the goat of all goats. This is not a restaurant I grew up going to as a kid, but I gotta say, man, ever since I moved out on my own, Taco Bell is just incredible. It's cheap. You get a lot of food for not a lot of money. It's great when you're like on a budget. You can just like find spare cash in your car and pay at Taco Bell. It's just, man, it's just always good, man. Like it's making me want Taco Bell right now. All praise to Taco Bell. That's going in the go-to category. All right, we have 4 more on our list here. We have Waffle House next up. Now, Waffle House is kind of like Cookout in that, you know, it's only good at a certain time, which typically is really late at night or early in the morning, however you want to look at it. I mean, it's great, you know. It's pretty, you know, affordable for the most part. I love breakfast food. I've always loved, you know, breakfast food. Waffles, bacon, eggs, you know, throw in a sweet tea or maybe a chocolate milk, and that's a protein meal right there. But again, Waffle House is not a place I would go to in like broad daylight. It's really only good at like certain times. So I'm gonna put that in the B category. We are down to our top 3 here. Next up we have Wendy's. Now, kind of similar to Subway, Wendy's was a place I used to go to very often, but as I got older, it just really went downhill. I don't know what it is, man, but like the drive-through etiquette at Wendy's is just trash. It's just so bad. Like, listen, I get it. Like, you know, I have not had the experience of working in a fast food restaurant. I understand that, you know, I'm sure a lot of customers are assholes in the drive-through line. I get it. You know, usually when you go through the drive-through and you put in your order, typically they'll, you know, read back to you what your order is. Okay, so I have an Asiago Ranch chicken sandwich meal with a large Diet Coke. Will that be all for you? Typically that's what they do at like any other fast food place. But you pull up to Wendy's, you put in your order. All right, pull around.
Okay, pull around.
And then what happens? You pull around, they, you know, essentially chuck the food in your car window. And then you get all the way back to your house or all the way back to your workplace. You open the bag and, oh, what do you know? It's the wrong order. Well, I wonder why, because it seemed like you weren't even listening to me in the drive-thru. So yeah, like Wendy's, the food is not, it's not bad, but you know, I'm gonna I'm just kind of pissed right now. I'm going to put Wendy's in the ass category just for the drive-through experience alone, because it's just not very great. I've not had a lot of good recent experiences at Wendy's. And down to our last two here, we have Wingstop. Now, Wingstop is, it's not, again, not really a place I go to very often. Honestly, I've really only started going there like within the past maybe year or so. And you know, I gotta say, it's kind of overrated. Like, I get it, they have a lot of options as far as like, you know, different rubs and different sauces that you can get for your wings. But I don't know, like it's just kind of all right. And it is like really expensive. You know, it just doesn't seem like you're getting your money's worth, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just like, it's one of those places that I just feel is kind of overrated. So I'm going to put it in the mid category. And last up, the GOAT of everything. Might be over exaggerating a bit. It is like pure coincidence that this was the last one on the list. But man, Zaxby's. Zaxby's is definitely going in the GOAT category. Man, I could eat Zaxby's like every day. Always great experience in the drive-thru. The food is typically always, you know, hot, fresh, really good. They have a lot of great options as far as the food goes. They always have a nice rotation of, you know, new items, like, you know, for whatever month it is, they'll bring in some new things. That Zensation salad is fire. They recently brought back milkshakes, which are pretty good. Personally, I always get the wings and things, which is just like a shit ton of chicken and a drink and fries and the toast, and it's all for like what, 13 bucks. I mean, it's another one of those places that's just, you know, pretty affordable. They have a lot of great sauce flavors for their wings. Sometimes they even have like fried shrimp. They need to bring that back. But yeah, man, Zaxby's is the king. Zaxby's is goated. All right, and that completes our tier list for fast food restaurants. All of the restaurants you see at the very bottom are in the never had category. If you see a particular restaurant in that category, which I have not tried yet, and is one you would recommend, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the content. Feel free to drop a like on the video. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I try to put out videos as often as I can. Thank you guys for the support. Hope you guys take it easy. And as always, catch you later.